Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. Starmer's youth vote gamble. Will it save him or will it finally sink him? I think it will sink him. I think he's misjudged it again. But in this video, I'll talk about it. I'll explain my thinking. But I want to hear your views on the Jon Gaunt podcast. Is Starmer finished? Is he holed under the waterline? I think he is. Let's get straight into it then. Keir Starmer, the man who's done more U-turns than a drunk in a cul-de-sac, I like that one, now wants to give, can you believe this, children the vote. I'll give it to him. It was a Labour Party manifesto commitment, but that means nothing because he's done so many U-turns on everything else. Yeah, he wants kids as young as 16 to be able to vote. Now, remember, you can't leave school now or education or training until 18. So he wants children to vote. You can't legally drink. You can't legally smoke. You can join the army, but you can't fight. I think that means joining the French army, doesn't it? So, apparently, these kids who can't drink, can't smoke, can't fight in the army, what can you do? So there's Adam Ant. What they can do is they can decide who runs the country. So this isn't about empowering youth. It's about saving Starmer's own political skin. He got a massive majority. We all know he's not going to now. He's the most unpopular PM ever. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. There's no way he can turn it round. So what's he do? He thinks we'll get kids to vote. Because most kids, traditionally, when you're young, you vote left, don't you? And you get more and more right to the right as you get older, more mature, more sensible, more intelligent and more educated. But I'm bound to say that, aren't I? So, that was certainly my journey. I don't know about you. But what he's doing, he's miscalculated again. Because on one side, he's got Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, who's at the moment the MP for Coventry. Those people basically are the left wing. They are going to be the Gaza party. They're going to be the protest party. Don't believe me? Look at the latest polls. They reckon that Corbyn can get as many votes as Starmer in a runoff between the two of them. Then on the other side, he's got Nigel Farage. And I find this unbelievable. But Farage, he rates really well with under 25s. Maybe it's his straight talk. I don't know. Just I think when you're younger, you can spot a fraud, can't you? So I think this won't do what Starmer wants it to do. And I think he's made another massive miscalculation, basically because he's an idiot. I mean, last night, he got rid of another 4 Labour MPs for having the temerity to be worrying about old people or people with disabilities. They wouldn't vote the way he wanted. So far, in 12 miserable months, Keir Starmer has got rid of more than 10 MPs. When I say get rid of, he suspended them, taken the whip away, including Zara Sultana. 10. Did you know that's a record? No one's ever got rid of 10 in the first 12 months. He's looking haggard. He's caught in a corner. He's useless. I've got him today shipwrecked again. I think he's drowning. And this is before we get on to the 3 Ukrainian models and whatever they were up to. And there's still the Nick Brown case in the background. There's still the secrets and lies. Now, of course, it was Conservatives, who started this nonsense about why we're getting all these Afghanis. But Starmer didn't change it quickly, did he? So he is mired in that as well. So he knows his party is in chaos after only 12 miserable months. So what's he going to do? He's turning to the TikTok generation and GCSE students to bail him out. I'm sorry, Sir Keir, that isn't bold reform. It's panic dressed up as principal. And it didn't work for the Scottish Nationalist Party in Scotland, did it? They gave the vote to 16-year-olds. Where are they now? They're either on a caravan park or going to prison. It didn't work, and it's not going to work for you. I think the youth vote, yes, he'll get some, but I think a lot of it will go to Farage and Reform UK. A lot more will go to Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana's new Gaza party, because they're all circling, ready to scoop up angry, alienated young voters. So tonight, I want to pull the mask off this political con job. I'm Jon Gaunt. As you know, it's unfiltered, unspun, and most of all, it's live. So do you think lowering the voting age to 16 is genuine democracy? Or is it what I would call straight up gerrymandering, which means doing something which definitely gets you a vote? Just tell me yes or no and why in the comments below. If you are 16 or you were 16, would you feel ready to vote? What would matter most to you? Would it be tuition fees, Gaza, climate, or something else? He's also now withdrawn the whip from 10 Labour MPs in this year alone. That is a record, a modern day record. Does that make him look strong, or does that make him look desperate? Let's get talking. Love to get your comments. Put your comments at the bottom of the screen and I shall read them out. This is going to be a humdinger of the show. If you like the agenda, press the like button, because that's the way to tell other people we're here. And if you want to retweet it or restream it, go ahead, get on with that as well. That's what you could do today. And I've got to say, before we go any further, big thank you to some people who have donated coffees and beers last night and today. So Adam C gave me 15 quid. Thank you, Adam. Niven Casey, the similar amount. Kevin Cunning, thank you. Bill Tully, a new listener. He whacked in a load of cash as well. Caroline Hobday, who's been a fan for years. In fact, I think she was in care with me. And Maggie Young, she came in as well. Remember, it's as little as a £5. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate from a £5 upwards. You can either specify a beer or a coffee, although tonight it's so clammy, I think I'll be having beer. I don't have the beer. Do you understand what I mean? And also, you can do it here on YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, you just press that $sign and you can donate anything from a couple of quid upwards. Let's get started though. Let's go to Michael Wilmot. Starmer's a traitor to this country. Starmer the drama. Starmer the bloody harmer is what I would say. He's got to go. Diana Abbott has just been suspended for racist comments. Yeah, I heard about that earlier. It looked like it was going to happen. So that's 11 he's got rid of now then, Nigel Gordon. The government is in disarray. But it's as if that's what he wants. It's as if he's trying to wreck the country. Look at what happened yesterday. We have been conned. All these Afghanis are coming. I actually think if they helped us, they do deserve to come. What I'm annoyed about more than anything is the cover-up. I'm not even that annoyed about the cock-up. Accidents will happen, as Elvis Costello would say. But it's the cover-up, just like Watergate. It's always the cover-up that gets them. Are you with me or against me? And I just think this government's been a complete and utter disaster. I can't think of one thing that they've done that I'm in favour of. They've ripped off the pensioners. They've upset the farmers. They're trying to nick your pension. They're kicking disabled. They wanted to kick people with disabilities out of their wheelchairs, effectively. It's a metaphor, of course. I just think it's outrageous what they've done. And they call themselves socialists. Then he has all the freebies. Ooh, suits you, sir. Goes to the Taylor Swift concerts with the whole bloody cabinet. And then there's the matter of the 3 Ukrainian models. Why were they firebombing his house? How did they know where his old properties were? These questions have not been answered. And then, of course, he called us all far right. And even yesterday, he couldn't help but have another dig. That if we suddenly get very angry, which I think we've got every right to get angry about the Afghans coming in and then not telling us and then kicking our soldiers. They've kicked our heroes out of their houses and are giving them to Afghans who haven't paid 1 cent into the pot. He's trying to gaslight us. He's succeeding. We're on fire, Keir. And if it gets much hotter, I think there's going to be problems. And then you can stand there, wring your hands, just like you did at Southport, and you can condemn us all as far right. Just like that school the other day. See, these stories mixed together. The Union Jack dress. I said today on Twitter, and I'm standing by it now, we should put a flag in the corner right next to whatever they call it now, chalkboard, whiteboard, and probably not allowed to call it a blackboard anymore. The flag should be there, the Union flag. But also, if you're in Scotland, the Scottish flag can be there. And the Welsh flag or the English flag. I think kids need to know that the flag's important, that a nation's important. Starmer doesn't want that because you know why? He doesn't believe in borders. That's why Dover's got more holes in it than Jamie bloody Oliver's colander. He doesn't give a shit about our borders. He doesn't care about our national identity. So he's trying to wreck it. And I think he's gone too far too soon. I don't think the electorate's ever going to forgive him. And I don't think kids are going to save him. Let's have your view. Denise Deacon, he's hoping that the kids will be naive enough to vote Labour. I didn't know anything about politics at 18, let alone 16. Personally, I think you shouldn't be able to vote until you're at least 21. Denise, I agree with you. Lots of people would call you a fascist for saying that. Do you know the reason I think it should be 21? Until you've got your own dustbin, so to speak, you're paying tax and you're working, how on earth do you understand the problems? I'd even go further and say until you've had children, how do you know what to vote for? But you see, he's gambling on that old idea that Labour will take the youth vote. I don't think they will. I'd like to know what your view on it is as well. Kay Gree, okay, in that case, now name 16-year-olds that commit crimes. What a bloody good, very, very good point. The criminal age of responsibility, I thought it was 16, wasn't it? So you're saying if you're going to treat them like adults and let them vote, you've got to let them do everything else, haven't you? Surely they should be able to buy cigarettes. Surely they should be able to fight on the front line, etc., etc. Get married without their parents' permission. All of those things. You see, this is why it's full of contradictions. Because all he wants, and Angelo Rayner wants, is the vote. He's almost turning into a dictator. He never wants to be out of power. Because he's nothing. He's the classic narcissist. He doesn't believe in anything and he doesn't even believe in himself. Look at him there. Look at him there. If you're not watching this on telly, you're missing out. But make sure you watch later. Jon Gaunt TV is the place to watch it on YouTube. Thank you, Keir. Let's go to Good Evening, John from Mallorca, from Darren Cummings. Hope you're having a nice time, Darren. Abbott is a racist to white people, says Michael Wilbot. I don't want to get into that conversation. It's off our agenda. But I think the fact that she's been suspended, if that's true, what you're telling me, whoever said it earlier, it just proves Labour is falling apart. Don't forget, Corbyn got more votes than Starmer. In the last general election he stood in, his Labour Party was more popular. Let's face it, the only reason Starmer is the Prime Minister is because all the others were dreadful and the Conservatives were abysmal. And they're still going to be abysmal because what happened yesterday with Afghanistan and the Afghans and the cover-up, no one's going to vote for him. They're finished. Our only hope is Nigel Farage. And I know a lot of people aren't convinced about that, but I'm pretty sure he'll get elected and he'll be the Prime Minister. Evening, keep up the fight, John, says Rob Hambridge on Facebook. I certainly will. Although I'll tell you what, it's bloody hot today. Evening, John. Will the average 16-year-old bother to go and vote? A few of the sixth form debating society will, but the majority won't be interested if you can't do it on your phone. Well, hang on. Don't get carried away because they're looking at things like that. They keep going on about X Factor. Wouldn't it be good if people could vote like that? They will do that. Just like postal voting. Postal voting was only meant to be for the armed forces if they were serving abroad and people with major disabilities. Now everybody does it. And lots of people con it. And lots of, what should we say, certain communities, they basically block vote. We can't have this. That is not democracy. But watch out now what happens next. I've been looking at it today. You know what Keir's next big idea will be? Let the asylum seekers vote. Because he's going to grant an amnesty. The only way he's going to solve it is I think it's wrong, but this is what he'll do. Rather than put the army on the beaches, rather than put the navy in the channel, rather than tow the boats back, slash the boats, whatever, get them out of their hotels, £8 million a day, he'll end up giving them an amnesty, which then they'll get the vote. And then I think he might even give them the vote anyway, saying, look, they're living in this country. They've got a right to vote, because this is the argument for sixth formers. They're saying people at the age of 16, if they vote when they are 16, at the age of 21, when the next election comes around, they can see how it's worked out. Like they did it during the Brexit vote. It wasn't fair that young people couldn't vote because it's going to affect them the most. Well, it's always been like that. That's the whole idea of society. They don't want older people, dare I say it, white working class people to vote, because they've lost them. The so-called red wall. No one I know who's working class is going to vote for this middle class tosspot. They're not. They're finished. The only way they can pull this round is if they get a new leader, and they'll have to do it very, very quickly. They're over. But he will try and gerrymander it. And the next thing will be illegals, asylum seekers can vote. Mark my words. I did say the age of consent, not the age of consent, but the age for voting would come down. I said that months ago, and a lot of people laughed at me. Look what's happening now. He's in a panic, an absolute panic. Owen El Pashalis, is that your name? Thank you. On Facebook, nice picture. Says 16 years is too young. I agree with you entirely. Wait until you get your own wheelie bin. Then you can start to vote. Starmer's next step will be to stop pensioners voting. I'd put money on it, says Eddie Lavelle. Eddie, that's a very good comment. I'll tell you what, my friend. There's every chance he'd do that, because let's face it, he wants to kill him anyway. He's bringing in assisted dying. He wants to abort babies up to full term, right? I just can't believe that. What's wrong? The abortion is too easy as it is, in my opinion. When David Steele, the old Liberal Democrat leader, brought this forward, he never envisaged abortion being on an industrial scale. Did you see that idiot girl? What's her name? Her dad's a brilliant actor. Lily Allen. She said she was making a video and she was joking. Oh, I can't remember how many abortions I had. I don't want to come over as an old fart. You're an old fart. But we'd never talk like that, would we? When we were young. Is that where we've got to as a society? It's just casual. Get rid of it. But it's the same with the pensioners. I think you're right. They'll start saying, are you capable of voting still? Seaside and Mark, giving 16-year-olds the vote will cause a tsunami of left-wing voting for Labour and Corbyn. You see, but that's the hole in your argument. That's what I'm saying as well. It won't all be for Starmer. A lot of it will be for Jeremy Corbyn. This is the card Starmer has been looking forward to playing. He knows that this will rain on reform's parade. I don't think it will, my friend, because I think it will split the vote, and then I think Farage will come steaming in through the middle, or on the right wing, should I say. I think he's miscalculated this. And if he keeps on kicking out left-wingers, it does remind me of Dave Nellis, used to be the MP for Coventry. I know him very well. He used to work at a solicitor's, and the boss of that was a very good friend of mine. He was a judge as well. But he only took the wage of a skilled toolmaker in a factory like Jag or British Leyland. And he was a real socialist. He still is a socialist. I thought it was all a bit petty myself, but he didn't half stand up for the people of Coventry. He was a brilliant local MP. Even though, sometimes you'd nod along with him. Yeah, that's a good idea, Dave. Yeah, I'm with you. And then suddenly he'd come out with this most crazy, bizarre idea, right? Real wild socialist idea. But he got kicked out of Labour, I think by Blair, for having the temerity to be a socialist, a bit like Sarah Sultana. I don't agree with her about Gaza, but she has got principles. Starmer wouldn't be able to spell principle. He wouldn't be able to shop in principle, would he? I'd turn him away. That was a joke. Never mind. What do you reckon? Let's have your views. So I think it's going to backfire. And here's somebody agreeing with me. Roseth, 22. His plan will be backfired. Thank you very much indeed. Disgusting cretin. I believe that Starmer wants to implement martial law and 15-minute cities. ID for Brits. I think you're probably right. I think he's turning in front of our very eyes into a dictator. But he's alienating. He's very good at it. He's managed to alienate everybody, whether you're left or right. And I think this is going to be his undoing. It's his arrogance which is going to be his undoing. I just think if you give them the vote, you've got to then let them drink at 16. You've got to let them smoke. You've got to let them fight in the army. The legal age at the moment at 18 is about right. I think it's still a bit young, in my opinion. But what's your view? I think with Farage and Corbyn and the TikTok culture wars, the culture wars on Twitter, lowering the voting age will just hand the next election to anyone but Starmer, because everybody hates him. It's across the board. I don't meet people who go, oh yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. You get a few of the nutcases on X or Twitter. And I just don't think what he's proposing is democracy. I think it's daylight vote rigging. I really do. How would a 16-year-old even know what the general... When you're 16 or 18 or 21, you want to be out there sowing your wild oats, don't you? You know what I mean? Don't you want to just be a boy or girl? What do you reckon? So Starmer's youth vote gamble, is it going to save him or is it going to sink him? I just think it's outrageous. I mean, the reason why that High Court special injunction was lifted yesterday, they pushed for it to be at the end of Parliament. Just like they've announced this as all the MPs go on their 6-week holiday. Self-centred, self-righteous pigs with their snouts in the trough. He is just an affront to democracy. At least with Jeremy Corbyn. He believed in what he said, didn't he? Maggie Thatcher, another prime example. You might not have liked her, but you knew where she stood on the big issues. But these idiots, I'll tell you what the truth is behind this latest gimmick. Why giving the 16-year-olds the vote will backfire on him, I've just explained that. How Nigel Farage, Reform UK, and even Corbyn's Gaza party are going to benefit instead. Starmer's having a purge. He may as well call himself Stalin. He's got rid of, well, it's 11 now if Diane Abbott's gone. That's what people are telling me. Confirm that for me if you could. 10 whip withdrawals, matron, in 12 months. He does like withdrawing the whip, doesn't he? The hypocrisy of letting teens vote but not smoke, drink or join the army. How do you add that up in your head? Oh, you can't smoke. You can't have a beer. Oh, you want to vote? Yeah, come on then. Who are you going to vote for? Vote for me, Starmer. And also, I think many young voters, they've seen what's gone on. And they are the TikTok generation. That's where they got a lot of their views from. And they're angry. Bloody angry. And I think young people, tell me if I'm wrong, I think they're as angry as we are, the so-called gammon, about illegal immigration. And the fact, see, I'm not against even illegal immigrants. I'm not against the individual. I'm against the bloody politicians who are allowing it to happen. I don't know if you watched GB News today, but it was incredible what they were showing. People on these boats being basically safeguarded by the French until they get to our waters. Then they take the life jackets off them. Then our boats come along. They all jump on our boat and on we go. And then somebody takes the rubber dinghy back to France and then it gets loaded up again. Somebody is taking the mick on a massive scale. And then today he's had a meeting with the Germans. And evidently the Germans are going to help us clamp down on it. And then we've got one in, one out. It's all bullshit, isn't it? So what I'm saying, what he's doing today, is not about democracy. It's pure and utter desperation. Come on, tell me what you think. And if you like what I'm doing, please press that like button, share it, and subscribe. Now, how you subscribe is this. You go to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. It's dead easy to find. JONGAUNT TV. Jon Gaunt TV. Subscribe. It's free. Then you'll get all of my videos, all the ones you've not seen. There's nearly over 900 now, I think. Have a look. It's only 900 because they're in different formats and stuff, but there's tons of material. Have a look. Tell me what you think about it. It's free. If you want to support me, you do that through www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Anything from a £5 upwards. It'd be nice to get a few more of those today. Also, you can do it by pressing that little $ just down there and donate a couple of quid. You can do it in any currency. So if you're watching abroad, you can do it there as well. If you don't help out, it's hard to say how these continue because that's the only funding I'm getting at the moment. Oh, and some advertising. I announced today that next week there'll be 3 set-piece interviews on top of the podcast, the general podcast. And I'm lining up some really interesting, different people. You won't like all of them, but they're going to be there because I've not interviewed anyone for years. And I want to do that as well. Okay. He wants to get that because he is losing. You're right, Seth. Yeah, he knows he's going down. He gets the kids on side. That's what he thinks. And then he thinks that he'll get elected again. He's got no chance of being elected, in my opinion. Look at the mess the country is in, John, with the over 18s voting. Can it get any worse, says Anne Droyne on YouTube. It's a fair point, Anne. It is a fair point. I don't totally agree with you, but I know where you're coming from with that one. Thank you very much indeed for you. What about teenagers whose grandmas died of hypothermia in the winter? Yeah, I wonder who they're going to vote for. I don't think it'll be Starmer, will it? And also, you see, with Starmer now, he's just become, well, he's not even a figure of comedy or jokes, is he? People just hate him. Hate's a strong word, but you don't say to anybody, oh, what do you think about Starmer? The gentlest thing anyone would say about that was always a winker, right? That's the gentlest thing to say. Most people go off on a tirade because most people, as you just said, Joel, have got a mum or grandma or their mum and dad are struggling. And young kids will know this as well. I just think he's mad. Ronnie Hurst says the youth won't vote. I disagree. I think they probably will. I certainly don't think they can be ignored. Will Corey says it's crazy that kids can vote now. Well, they can only, they can't really vote now, can they? They're 18. I wouldn't say an 18-year-old is necessarily a kid. 16, I'd say definitely is a kid. John Waters, well, how the hell can't we get them out? They're supposed to be working for us and the country, not for themselves. A revolution is needed. I know where you're coming from, John, but that isn't going to happen either, is it? Pip Donaldson, he's over in Spain, in Barcelona. He says, the funny thing is, Starmer is so awful at social media and speaking that Farage will clean up with the youth because he's so good at it. That's true. Have you seen those poxy videos that Starmer, well, he doesn't make them. He's got some young lad making them. But he's obviously got some knob doing it who's not been trained either in the porn industry. That's where the best people come from. I'm just telling you the truth. The best social media people learned how to do it in porn or they learned how to do it in gaming. He's not employing those kinds of people. Have you seen his videos? They're just appalling. And they say, oh, I'm Keir Starmer. Did you know I used to be in charge of public prosecutions? Oh, yeah, aren't you the prat who didn't do Jimmy Savile? No, that didn't come over my desk. Oh, aren't you the one who didn't clamp down quickly enough on Oruda Cabana? No, that's not me. Oh, aren't you the person behind Prevent and wanting? No. He washes his hands so much He could be in a Fairy Liquid advert, couldn't he? But you're right. He's so bad at social media, and Farage is so brilliant. Well, the boys around him, I've met a few of them. They are geniuses. It's not Farage, but he's got a great team around him. He'll wipe the floor with him. You're right. Ronnie Hurst says Starmer only got in because they didn't want Tories. It was a protest vote. Yeah, but it was a bloody big protest vote. And let's not forget, they were dreadful. Let's not forget, I've got no time for the Conservatives, which means that one of my guests next week is going to have an interesting time, let me tell you. Bye-bye, democracy. Hello, dictatorship, says Paul Rowbottom. Thank you, Paul. Just want to say another quick thank you to Adam C., Niven Casey, Kevin Cunning, Bill Tully, Caroline Hobday, and Maggie Young. All contributed in the last couple of days. If you'd like to do that, please do so. But also, help me out by telling all your friends about this show. I don't think there's anything else like it around, is there? 6:30 every day, Monday to Thursday. Don't forget, there isn't one tomorrow because it's Friday, although I might do a little bit in the day. I'll have to see how I feel. Villa Gaz, he contributed last night. Thank you, Villa. He did it by clicking on the padlock. Not the padlock, the dollar sign. He says, hi, John. Great show as usual. Can't see many 16-year-old girls voting for a party who let vile men into the country by the thousands. It's going to backfire on him. It will just mean the Greens get a few more votes. I voted for them last time. So, yeah, they might. You're right. They might. It's a joke, isn't it? It's just such a joke. Like the Afghans. I'm not saying they're all rapists or the Somalians, but look at some of the crime statistics. It can't be denied. It can't be denied. And you know what makes me so mad about all this? It's when they go to working class areas. They did it with the pedos. They put all the paedophiles in a working class area. They don't consult anyone. And this has been on a major scale with the Afghanis. People in Bracknell and Berkshire, they've been going mad about this. And where have all these Afghans come from? And even us, we didn't realise what was going on. The government knew. They were bringing them in. Forget about the small boats. They were bringing them in on jumbo jets. Straight into Luton, Stansted, Bryce Norton, just down the road from where my daughter is. It's despicable. And they've changed the country. I'm blaming the politicians. It's a bit like when Blair wanted to rub our nose in diversity. He changed the country, but he never asked us. And the rate of change was too fast. And then when we complained, I always tell you that story about being on not Question Time, Panorama, some bloody programme I was on. And there was a young lad who was a chippy from Cornwall. And he just said, yeah, well, what's happened is because of all the Polish it was at the time, he said, my wages have gone down because they don't charge as much because they live four or five to a house. And the snobby presenter said, you're a racist. I went mad afterwards. I said, he's no fucking racist. You've asked him to come and tell you his lived experience. He told you, and you don't like it. Have you ever been on the tools, knowing full well she hadn't? No. These people make me sick. They've got no experience. That's why I'm so annoyed that I'm not on the telly at the moment. It's just crazy. This thing with the flag just yesterday, just outrageous. The Jaguar rebranding themselves. Why can't we have some proper people back on the telly? Some commentators. I'm available. I'll even do it for a little bit less than you used to pay me. Starmer. Oh, I did get asked to go on a podcast today, and I'm considering it. I'll tell you about it maybe tomorrow or the next day. I've just got to get the exposure. As Mr. Kodak said, Starmer believes that the lefty education system will instill Marxism into these children and they will then vote Labour, says Peter Edwards on Facebook. It's part of Starmer's plan to retain power, along with the establishment of a one-party state, with him as the great leader, the supreme leader, you mean, otherwise known as a dictator. Peter, I think I agree with most of what you've just said. That head teacher who hasn't been sacked, and she should have been, who basically told that girl, no, you can't dress like a Spice Girl. You can't celebrate your culture. Oh, you can wear a burqa, though. Of course you can look like a Dalek if you want, but you can't be British and proud of it and wear a Union Jack. I mean, I was saying this, I don't know if I said this yesterday. I think I said it after the show. When you think about Blair, when he came to power and that whole cool Britannia thing with Oasis and the rest of it, It was genuinely exciting. There's nothing exciting about Starmer. I think there might be some interesting, exciting things about his private life, but then we don't know much about that, do we? And we're told we're not allowed to ask. Ronnie Hurst. I'm 70 years young, served in the forces. I cannot remember a government like this. They don't like the white indigenous population. Correct. You'd have thought that those that do vote would vote exactly the same as their parents, talking about children, like when you support the same football team as your dad when you're growing up. Yep, absolutely. I think that a lot of that will happen. The Labour Party brought in foreigners to bolster the lefty vote. Now they're going to try and do it with the kids. Thank you, Warwick Mill. That was the point I was just going to make, actually. That teacher who hasn't got the sack, who said the girl couldn't wear the union flag dress and has now changed her mind because clearly there's been such outrage about it all around the globe. She's exactly the kind of teacher that Starmer loves, pushing the agenda, the lefty, woke, Marxist, cultural agenda. And that's what's wrong with teaching in this country. Teachers, leave us kids alone. Joel Newnham, 16-year-old kids who work hate having to pay tax. They won't appreciate having to pay so much when their parents say that money funds people who don't work. That's a very good point indeed. Maggie Young, she's one of my regulars. Did you see Dublin fighting for rights yesterday? They're desperate like us. They said Irish citizens are depressed just like us. They can't let their girls walk out, and just like we can't. Yeah, why should they be living in fear? Even if the fear is partly wound up by people on the right, like me, I can take on board that criticism. But I worry about my daughters. Don't you? That doesn't mean I think every migrant's a rapist or a sex attacker. But then I'd be more reassured if Starmer, let me just show you his face. Here, Starmer, can you tell me that you know exactly where everybody in those rubber dinghies has come from? Do you know their names? Do you check their DNA when they come in? Do you give them a health check to make sure they're not bringing in HIV, AIDS, or other diseases that we've managed to eradicate? Do you, Starmer? No, you don't. Do you know why? Because you're a prick. That's why. And you're putting us all in danger. Come on then. The kids will go to Corbyn. The ones that vote Labour are off their rockers because they're like turkeys voting to replace chickens at KFC. I love that. Songs of Life by Mel Plant. You can come again, Mel. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, Diana has gone. The BBC have just said so, says Jackie Ward. Oh, what if the BBC have said it, Jackie? No, I'm taking a mickey. No, well, that sounds like it's genuine then. That's another one. So that's 11 he's got rid of, right? Now, his majority is 140 or something, isn't it? So it's going down. A load of them are going to go to Corbyn. Mark my words. As soon as they get back after their 6 weeks holiday, they'll be off like rats, deserting the sinking ship. Keir Starmer. Vince Combs said, well said, John. I know mainstream news didn't cover the 12-year-old girl. What a surprise that was. Not. Yeah, and the papers haven't really picked up on it today. And there wasn't much coverage of this total and utter betrayal by the whole political class. Why haven't they told us that they were bringing in, how many is it so far? It's 25,000, isn't it? Afghanis. They couldn't have all been working for us. Come on, grow up. What we got next? Starmer. Well, no getting tough, no feelings. He sees what we see, but he doesn't care less, John. Our country is starting to give up. We're being ignored. We're being beaten down. Now, that's funny. I said that yesterday in the show. I said, I've just done about you. I just feel as if there's pressure. I nearly didn't do a show yesterday. I got so down. I'm not one to get down, really. I'll come and have a rant and cheer myself up. And then after the show, I had a few people on the show saying, yeah, I feel like that, John. But then today I've had quite a few emails and little tweets and DMs to me saying, John, you know when you said that yesterday? Well, that's me as well. Well, I don't want to be like that. That's what I've decided. I'm not going to let Starmer wreck my life and my kids' future. Are you? We've got to get rid of him. Got to get rid of him. Whilst we're on the subject, well, we're not really, but I'm going to start the subject now, of injunctions. I think we need to press now. Is there an injunction on Nick Brown, one of Starmer's best mates? What did he do? And of course, he did resign the whip. And of course, he's an independent, well, stood as an independent, and now he's no longer an MP. But I think we have a right to know what was going on there. The three men who arsoned your houses and your car, let's get that to court quicker. We need to know what's going on, Sir Keir. Have you given everything back? I know you gave back the money for the Taylor Swift. You're still going to the Arsenal in a box. I think we have a right to know these things. And all these rumours swirling around about your relationship, I think we have a right to know. Are you a proper married family man? Are you? Or aren't you? When's somebody going to get some balls and actually say that with privilege in the House of Commons? Never, because they're all self-serving pigs and they're all too scared to do it. If they let the youngsters vote, we'll have someone from Love Island as Prime Minister. They'd probably make a better job of it. Labour know that 16-year-olds don't vote, but imams do. That's an interesting comment. Noel Hand, good old friend of mine, play up Sky Blues. All right, Noel, how you doing, boy? He says, hi, Noel. Hi, Noel. Nice to see you. Hopefully see you at the arena next season. They're going for the Muslim bloc vote, John. They just passed the postal vote to the imam in the mosque. But I don't think it happens in all communities, but I think you're right. It does happen. It's happened in Coventry in the Fosal area. Once they open their eyes and realise they will be back in the back of the queue for housing, education, jobs, etc. Oh, he's talking about young kids. They're going to vote reform. Their only chance of a future worth having in the UK. Well, that ties in with what I was saying earlier. Can you believe they've chucked squaddies? They've chucked our heroes out of the barracks, or some of the barracks houses, to put the Afghans in. That can't be right. It can't be right. Even if you feel great sympathy and they did great things for us, surely our boys have to come first. Seaside of Mark says, you were brilliant on GB News, John. Would love to see you back on there. Was always good telly when you were on. I bet Nana would have you on if she was allowed to. I don't think it's a case of anyone allowing or not allowing, to be honest with you. Obviously, I was ill and I was off for ages, and I think they just forgot about me. I'm being generous. I think that's what it is. Anyway, let's not get drawn into that. Let's see whether something comes up. All right. I'm very disappointed with you tonight. No one's making any donations. Maybe you're doing it on the Buy Me a Coffee side, which I can't see here while I'm on air. And if you are, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, we're starting with guests next week. I will be doing a couple of shows over the weekend, extras. Thanks for your comments tonight. It's been brilliant. If you do want to contribute on here, simple. You just quickly click on that little $sign, donate whatever you can afford. What's this one? Sam Morgan. I'm in Southport when them kids got stabbed, little girls. I remember that day. Shame our lads didn't do a good job. I can't possibly comment, but I thank you for your comment. Thank you very much indeed. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell this. Ronnie Hurst says, who's going to replace Starmer? I don't care. It could be the bloody lettuce. The first job is to get rid of him. This man is an unfeeling automaton. He's an android with less charisma and talent. In fact, I've got a vacuum cleaner that has got more personality than him, and it's a very expensive vacuum cleaner, let me tell you. Very good at sucking things up, Keir. Anyway, I'm finished. Probably completely now, my career. I'll be back. I might do a little extra one tomorrow, but certainly over the weekend, Sunday afternoon, I should think. If not, Monday at 6:30. Chopper says, thanks to the show, Gaunty. Enjoy your Friday afternoon beer tomorrow. Yeah, I've got to go and find somewhere typically English and have a nice lager and put a photo up and see if I can get more than the 748,000 tweets that I got the last time I dared to have a Friday afternoon off and sit in the sunshine. Anyway, we shall see. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for telling all your friends. Don't forget to press the share button. If you've been listening on a podcast, don't forget to subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. You can see all the shows, and I'll be doing a load more, and I'll be putting the repeats up today as well. So until we speak again, Maggie Young's giving me claps. Thank you, Maggie. And Seaside Mark says it's called Madri. Yeah, the lager. Yeah. Okay, I think I know that. I don't want to get into another argument. And Jackie Ward, as usual, she sent me 3 red hearts. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. I'll see you soon. All the best. Bye.